Hi. Hi.
Hi. This is so exciting.
This is so exciting. Today is our day to start this show. This is episode 1 of our talk show. I'm Jena and
And I'm Dr. Saira.
I'm a couples therapist and a relationship coach. And Dr. Saira.
I'm a psychotherapist with a specialty in transpersonal psychology.
And our show is all about helping you shine.
Because we've seen so many people in our private practices who just aren't shining. It's like they're living this medium life and they're okay with that, but we're not okay with that anymore. Because we realize that there's a lot of people who need to just step into their life fully.
Yes. And you know what? It doesn't even take that much effort.
No, hardly any at all.
You just have to know what to do, right? You have to give yourself permission every day to be the best version of yourself. And that's what we're here to do. We are going to help you by inspiring you and by giving you permission to just freaking shine.
Because, what did they say? The dog days are over?
Yeah, I never understood what that meant.
To me, that means like, you know, when you feel like a dog and you're like, oh, poor me, life is hard, nothing works. Poor me, life is hard, nothing works. Well, that's over today.
Yeah, we're not letting you do that anymore.
No, it's time to just be like, you know what? Okay, I have something important to share with the world, whatever that is for you, whether that's something important through your work, through your family situation, through, you know, just the way that you show up, whether it's your voice because you're a great singer or your art or whatever it is that you were actually supposed to bring to the world. Today's the day to start bringing it.
Because people need to hear your message. They need to hear your message coming from you, exactly the way you say it. No matter if a million other people are saying the exact same thing, they need to hear it from you.
Yeah. So let's get started.
So the theme of our show is that today is your day to start. So what we're talking about today and what we've been talking about all day is just getting started on those things that mean the most to us, because it's so easy to have a big dream and then just push it to the sidelines, you know, put it on your to-do list for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, you never get things done. You never get to that end goal. We want you to reach that end goal by starting today and taking little steps every single day to get there.
You know, I have lots of friends and some clients who they have these really great ideas, right? So it's like they have this great idea and everyone thinks, wow, what a great idea. And then it just remains an idea.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And today's the day to say, well, how do we take that idea that you have for the life that you could lead and actually make it into something real?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. And today, a little personal anecdote. I did my first Periscope, which I was so terrified for. I was like not wanting to be on live, whatever it is, streaming and have people talk to me in real time. Like I had no idea what it was going to be like. And I just forced myself because you know what? Today is my day to start.
And you know, then we did a joint Periscope.
Yeah, we did.
And the first comment, or like the third comment that of the same first person that engaged with us was the word penis. Like, oh.
Yeah.
And we just kind of rolled with that, and we like talked about testosterone in the brain, and we, you know, I think we worked with it. But
really, yeah, you picked that up, and you was well with it.
Like, it would have been so easy at that moment to say, "Oh, geez,
okay, bye-bye,
bye, shut that down." Because how do you respond, right? And so there's going to be things when you're starting a new endeavor that are going to be these roadblocks or these hurdles that come up, and how you respond is the most important thing, because it's almost like you have to anticipate there's going to be roadblocks, right?
Yes. And you know, of course, I'm going to lead this into relationships because I lead everything into relationships, but it's the exact same thing. People don't think about their response as much as they think about what my partner's doing right now. Like, what is my partner doing to piss me off? They don't realize that their response makes all the difference in the world.
Right. And so part of it in when it's your day to start, part of the teaching, I think, from a psychology perspective is there's certain things you can control and there's certain things that you can't. So basically anything inside of you, you can mostly control, right? So your thoughts, your behaviors, to an extent your feelings, to an extent your physiology, you can regulate that. There's ways of kind of monitoring and changing that. Anything outside of you, like the weather, other people, the political climate, there's things that you just really can't have that much influence over it. You can try, right? And people have tried. There's been people who try day after day after day to influence their spouse, for example. Mm-hmm. And it's exhausting and it's like it doesn't have a return. But when they start looking at their own changes, like how are my responses actually something that could influence this in a different way, then you see change.
Absolutely.
in the whole relationship, right?
Yeah, the other person can keep doing exactly what they're doing. And the truth is, you know what they're going to do, right? Like,
Totally
you know
know.
your partner better than anyone knows your partner.
Gosh.
You know them. You can probably predict exactly how they're going to react. And yet, when they react that way, we're still
surprised.
shocked.
We're like, what happened? Again, the socks are on the floor. Like, why does he always take off his socks and put them on the living room floor?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Every time I wake up in the morning and there's like socks on the floor in the living room, and I'm surprised.
So you could let that get you angry every single day and be like, my day started off crappy because my husband left his socks on the floor again. For the 18th day in a row. Or you could say to yourself, like, that's
and then you know the
is.
funny thing that happened the other day, Jena? I saw some socks on the floor. I was so mad. And then I looked at the socks and they were mine. Because I guess I was like, well, if he's going to leave the socks on the floor. And so I just totally took them off at night while I was watching TV. And the next day. And then I thought, oh, maybe that's what he goes through, right? He's just trying to get comfortable in the moment, takes off his socks, and then forgets about it because he's exhausted and goes to sleep. And so it really gave me compassion for him once I, found my own socks.
That's hilarious. And it's true. We are always able to give our partner a little bit more compassion and a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, that's what makes a relationship great, when you can just be yourself and your partner still loves you, because nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect, not even you, as much as you think.
We think you're pretty great.
I think you're amazing, but there's
You're
room for
perfect.
improvement, right? There's always room for like a little bit of self-reflection, a little bit of personal development and growth. And I think, to our viewers, to the people watching it, I'm sure you're tuning in because you're wondering about how you could have a better life, how you could have those things that you've been, wanting and knowing you could have, but not really figuring out how to get there. So today's the day to start taking those small yet meaningful steps towards the goals that you have for your life. And stop making excuses. Like, stop blaming your partner for leaving his socks on the ground and that's the reason that you had a bad day. Like, that's a waste of your time. Exactly. And it's not the truth.
Yeah.
It's a big fat distraction from you just like doing what you're supposed to do.
And while we're on the topic of change, I really think that the number one thing that you have to do, the very first step that you need to take in order to change, is to figure out, what is your end goal? What is your outcome that you're working towards? Because if you don't know what you're working towards, then how do you know what steps to take, right?
Yeah. No idea. It's like, it's almost like you're on this ship, right? And you've got all the right crew, you've got the ship's been checked, everything's good, the weather is fine, everything's great, but you don't actually know where you're going.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, oh, I want to see beautiful islands and I want to have all these experiences, but you don't have a destination. So you're kind of like, then start sailing and wondering, like, why is this not fulfilling? And it's because there's no direction, there's no movement in a particular direction. I think so many of us do that. We say, oh, in my life I want money and I want happiness and I want partnership and I want all these things, but what do you actually want to be? What do you want to be? What direction are you setting your inner ship? Like, where's the course? And if you don't think about that, if you don't like get that in advance of taking 100,000 steps, then you're just like this ship that's like sailing for years and years and years and never hitting any sort of destination point. And feeling like you're wasting time.
Absolutely,
right?
Yes. And like, you're unfulfilled, like you're not who you want to be. Well, you lost yourself, right? People say that all the time. I lost myself.
Yeah, and it's because you just spent a lot of time just sailing around, not really knowing where you were going. And I've done that. Like, I had years where I just felt like I was just like going through the motions, right? Especially after my first child was born. It's like I was doing this mommy thing and I was going through the motions and I was also in practice, and I was kind of like in this fog of what do I want and who am I? And it was really uncomfortable, right? And it was just really like kind of gross feeling. And then my husband suggested we take this leadership course together, and we did that. So it was every Tuesday night for 9 months, and we got babysitter on Tuesday nights, and we didn't have date nights. We just had this leadership date night every week. And we started actually realizing how when we take control of our own choices and our own life just becomes a lot more fun and relaxing.
Yeah.
And everything's not a big drama story.
And what I love about that is you're putting your focus onto your goals. So you're putting your focus on where you want to be. And you and your husband having that joint goal and that shared vision, that is incredible. Like, that's what moves your relationship forward. That's what fulfills you. That's what gives you purpose in your own relationship.
Right.
Because even your relationship needs purpose, just like you need purpose, just like your life needs purpose, right? That's all.
And I think we were talking about this earlier today about how so many times we say, okay, well, once I'm rich, then I'll be happy. Okay, once I'm in, found my true love partner, then I'll be happy. Okay, once I have the career goal that I've always been looking for, then I'm going to be happy. Okay, once I have the body that I'm working so hard to get at the gym, then I'm going to be happy. Oh, once I have that baby, then I'm going to be happy. And it's like, but there's always going to be one more thing. Oh, and then we get to, once I have grandchildren, I'm going to, once I retire, it's never works. Like, you never get there.
You have to choose to be happy right now.
Right. Yeah. With all of your flaws. Like, with all of your flaws and all of your imperfections, because those flaws and imperfections make you the unique, like, expression of life that you are, right? Mm-hmm. No one else can live this life exactly the way that you're living it. And we need you. Like, we're tired of waiting around for people to just be complaining about their life. Like, we need you to just step up. Yeah.
Today is your day to step up. And really, when we're talking about deciding to be happy, that is a decision that you are constantly making throughout your day. I mean, my moods shift from one second to the next. And if I'm not careful, a day that starts off incredible can end in the worst possible way because I let it, right? Like, I let it get to that point. So I'm constantly, and I'm sure, I don't know, maybe you guys are too, constantly monitoring, how do I feel? And if I feel less than ideal, how can I change my thoughts so that I feel better?
Right.
How can I look at the best in the situation? Yes, I'm tired. Yes, maybe I need to eat something. Maybe I need to go for a walk. Maybe I need to refresh myself. But while I'm doing that, I'm also paying really close attention to what I'm thinking about.
Okay, I have to tell you something.
Yeah, please.
So as you're talking, I'm thinking of this conversation I had with my psychiatrist friend about this book that I'm reading called The Female Brain. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that it says in that book that was just a aha for me was this whole thing about the fight or flight. Okay, so if you tap in the back of your head here, right? So that's the sheriff. Okay, so that's the part of the brain that's totally connected to survival. Okay, so when you are feeling under threat, that part of your brain takes over. And so what have we been taught? That when that part of the brain takes over, it's fight or flight, right? You've heard that, fight, flight, or maybe freeze.
Right.
Well, guess what? For women, there's another two options.
No way.
I swear to you.
What are they?
Oh my gosh. And I learned about this in school, but I didn't realize how important it was. Tend and befriend.
Tend and befriend.
So tend means looking after self-care, right? Yeah. So taking some time out for you, getting a massage, taking a hot bath, going for a walk, all of those things that are called tending. So you tend to yourself and it makes you feel better. When you're under stress as a woman, you need to tend and befriend. Befriend is about connecting with another woman. Not another man, though I know you often look to your spouse or your partner to make you feel better. A lot of women do that, but it's actually...
We're famously bad at that, too.
So bad at that, because that's not... I know, because when they're under stress, their response is fight, flight, or freeze. Yeah. And so you're trying to, like, connect with them, and they're just trying to run away from you.
Right? Yeah, that's why you need women.
That's what their brains are doing. And so when you connect with other women, you feel supported and you feel safe, right? Because the sheriff, the part of your brain in the back, it's just about safety and survival. And for women, like, our brains have evolved very, very slowly. Our society has evolved really quickly. Mm-hmm. And so we're still stuck with the brains that our forefathers had, those foremothers and fathers who lived in caves. And so our brains interpret things as tigers. So a stressor, like, somebody sending you a rude email becomes a tiger, and all of a sudden, you need to talk about it, right? Mm-hmm. That's befriend.
Or my Periscope experience. Tiger.
And it's not even a real tiger, but the brain is interpreting those stressors as tigers. And so for women especially, to know that there's options, that these are actually healthy coping mechanisms, tend and befriend. And so as you're starting something new or something that you've always wanted to do that you haven't done, there are going to be stressors that come up, and you need a plan for when those stressors come up. Right?
Yeah.
And so one of the great things to do is, like, schedule a regular tend moment, like whether that's a regular manicure, a regular massage, a regular coffee with a girlfriend, whatever it is, to just have that fit into your schedule, because there's stressors all the time. And I know you're busy, like, we are so busy, everybody's so busy these days, right? But if you don't take time to do that, you're just going from one tiger to another and never letting your brain actually calm down and reset, so that you can use your creative mind to actually do the things you've always wanted to do.
And it's only when you're feeling optimistic and hopeful that you're able to be creative, right?
Right.
Because when you're stuck thinking about something that you just can't seem to make sense of, or, you know, you're in that moment where you're just frustrated and upset, you're not expressing yourself creatively.
No, you're
not
just survival.
able to.
You're just trying to survive and like make it through the day, right? Do you remember Maslow's hierarchy, the pyramid, right? So it's like you need your basic needs met first, and then you need your relationships needs met, you need your purpose needs met, and then you can get a bit creative, right? So if you're not even getting the basics of enough sleep, the right kinds of food, the right exercise, like those very basic things, it's going to be very challenging to get that creative spark. Now, on the other hand, when you do have a creative rush, it's like you're all consumed by it, right?
Yes.
Right? Like how we've been like, oh my gosh, hours and hours of just this creativity.
Yeah.
And so that's fine. But you can't sustain that for days and days and days.
No,
That's
you still
hard
need to
on your
take
body.
breaks.
Right. Yeah.
And a great way to take a break and still be creative is to let someone else in on what it is that you're doing, because it provides accountability. You can tell your friend, like, Saira and I talk, Dr. Saira and I talk all the time about what our big lofty goals are. And we tell each other it's okay to have those big goals. You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah.
You believe in you, right? You can do it. So in a way, sharing, we're tending to ourselves, we're befriending, and we're also being creative. So there's a way to incorporate it all together.
Mm-hmm. So what else about it's time to start?
Well, this leads into what I was going to say, which is that when you're sharing your vision with someone else, another really important thing to do, maybe even before you share your vision, is to get really specific about what it is that you want. So it's one thing to have a goal, and it's another thing to know exactly what that goal looks like, to the point where you can close your eyes and imagine it. Mm-hmm. And we're big on like manifesting and creating our own life in advance, right?
In advance.
In advance, yeah. You can literally write your life out. But you got to get started. You have to take that 10 minutes a day that it takes to think about, where do I want to be? Like, when my life is ideal, what does it look like? Mm-hmm. And when you can get into that space of constantly thinking about it and dreaming about it, you automatically take action that moves you closer to that goal.
Right. And sometimes it's more like thoughtful and intellectual, where you're actually writing down these different things. Sometimes that itself can be a creative process. So one of the things I do is scrapbooking, right? Yeah. So I'll just take a bunch of magazines and just randomly look through them, and any picture that pops out to me, any word that pops out to me, even if it doesn't make any sense at all, I cut it out and then I add it to my scrapbook. And it's amazing when I look back a year later, all of those things that I have in my pictures, like, for example, the last one was like, healthy food, friendship circles, dinner parties, all of these things that I had put in my scrapbook a year ago are now real. Like, they're part of my life.
That's crazy.
I know. But it's like
that.
you let some other part of your mind just go for it, right?
Mm-hmm. And really, it's about giving yourself permission to dream big. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of times we get so busy that we forget. We forget that we can create our own lives, and that it's okay to want the things that we want. It doesn't matter if nobody else believes in them except for us. That's okay, right?
That's okay.
It's okay to want the things that we want. So dream big and take that step today to map out where you want to be this time next month, this time next year, whatever it is, and share that dream with someone else. This is your day to start acting and living your dream.
Right. Because if you don't start today, you might not start tomorrow, and you might not start the next day, and you might not start in a month, and you might not start in a year. And then all of a sudden 5 years go by and you look back and you think, oh man, I had this idea 5 years ago, but I didn't do anything about it.
Honestly, Dr. Saira and I came up with this idea for the talk show this morning, or actually it was last week. We taped a little something last week. This is our second business meeting. Neither of us really wanted to tape something.
No.
And then we're like, you know what? Today is your day to start. So we're just going to tape this. We're going to see where it goes, and we're just going to do it. So we're living exactly what we're preaching.
Right. And it's not going to be perfect.
No, it never is.
I've just come from the gym, clearly, as you can see, right? Like, it's not perfect, but we figured that if we have to stop our life to live the life that we want to live, then that doesn't make sense at all. You have to actually live the life that you want to live inside the life that you have right now.
Yeah.
You just have to fit it in somehow. Mm-hmm. And so we're fitting it in.
We're fitting it in. And you can fit it in too.
Fit it in. And if that means, like, for me, that means, so I'm reading. I'm going to show you my book. I'll be right back.
Commercial break.
Commercial break. Okay. Here's the book that I was talking about. The Female Brain. Okay. So I have this book in my purse. I got a bigger purse so that I could fit the book in it. So like, this is a big book. I'm going to get a bigger purse. So my mom gave me a bigger purse, and I put it in, and I just carry it with me. And then what happens is, when I'm waiting to pick up my kid, there's 15 minutes left before pickup time, and I'm sitting in the parking lot, I just read 15 minutes worth of the book. Or, when I'm waiting at the dentist to get my cavities or whatever filled, then I just read 10 minutes of the book or whatever. And that's how I'm getting through it because, we don't, things have changed. It's not like my parents' generation where you're going to take an hour in the afternoon and read a book. I don't have time to do that.
No.
But that's how I'm getting through my reading. And people always ask me, oh, Dr. Saira, how do you read so many books? That's how I do it. I just keep it in my purse.
So essentially you're fitting your dreams into your daily life.
Right.
Like you're deciding on your priority and you're making that work with your life the way it is right now.
Exactly. I'm not waiting for somebody to give me all this time so I can, I'm not waiting for some tropical holiday where I can lie on the beach and read all my books. That would be lovely, by the way. So if anyone wants to send me that, I would take it. But in the meantime,
I'm going to be on that trip with you. Just so you know.
One of these days, we're going to film from the beach. How's that?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so you just heard us set a goal. Let's see how long it takes for us to make it come true, Jenna.
Oh, we should set a timeline. August
on the beach?
3 months away.
Okay, so in August, we're gonna be on the beach.
Filming a show. For you.
So we have a timeline, and now we just have to take the steps to get there.
So what we'd love for you to do is comment below on exactly what steps you took today. Today is your day to start. So in what way did you show up and start?
Right, and then what we'll be doing is we'll be putting out these little clips every week or so about what is today about for you. And then you get to practice, right? So today is your day to start. Today, you're going to start. And then through the week, you're going to keep taking those steps to keep that momentum going. And then next week, we're going to plug in with you again and tell us what that day is about. And so that's our show. Today is your day.
Today is your day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching.
And we'll see you next week.
Have a great week. Today is your day to start. Start right now.
Get started.